From an early age, we're taught to care about everything: other people's opinions, society's approval, the need to control every detail of our lives. But this relentless pursuit of acceptance becomes an invisible burden, sapping energy and peace. It's as if we're constantly in debt, trying to prove our worth to those who aren't even paying attention. The curious thing is that the more we try to please and control, the more frustrated we become. Life seems to slip through our fingers, like sand too loose to contain. And the question remains, could the secret to freedom not be in doing more, but in letting go? Could it be that stopping caring so much is precisely the key to living more lightly? This is the paradox few dare to accept. When we stop trying to control everything, things finally begin to fall into place. Not because we give up, but because we leave space for life to flow naturally. The anxiety that once blocked our paths gives way to a quiet confidence that opens doors where before there were only walls. Stopping worrying too much doesn't mean neglecting responsibilities, but rather letting go of burdens that aren't yours. It's letting go of the illusory control over what can't be controlled. It's choosing not to drown in unrealistic expectations. It's the conscious decision to live within your reach and trust in what doesn't depend on you. This change is almost always accompanied by immediate relief, as if the soul can finally breathe after years of suffocation. It is at this moment that true freedom emerges. The freedom to live for oneself, not for the eyes of others. The freedom to find peace even amidst uncertainty. And that's when life curiously begins to work out. In this video, we'll reflect on why letting go of control and stopping caring so much is key to emotional prosperity, mental clarity, and even practical success. You'll discover how letting go opens up opportunities, how living for yourself restores inner strength, and how peace attracts more than anxiety. The question is, are you ready to let go? When we care too much, we carry an invisible backpack full of burdens that don't belong to us. Every criticism, every judgmental look, and every external expectation becomes another weight on our shoulders. Over time, this burden exhausts us and robs us of the joy of living. Life ceases to be a light journey and becomes a tiring marathon of pleasing others. The constant need for approval turns the mind into a battlefield. You act not because you desire to, but because you fear disappointment. Every choice becomes a test, every decision a testament to your worth. It's as if the mirror that guides your life isn't in front of you, but in the eyes of the beholder. This is one of the most silent burdens of human existence. Living trapped in the opinions of others generates anxiety. The fear of making mistakes grows because we believe we'll always be judged. Instead of experiencing the freedom to try, we become paralyzed by the possibility of failure. The weight of caring too much not only limits us, but also prevents new doors from opening. After all, how can we walk if our legs are bound by the chains of approval? Examples of this pattern are everywhere. The person who doesn't choose the career they want because they fear disappointing their family. The individual who avoids showing their true colors for fear of criticism. These choices, shaped by external perspectives, create lives that seem right to others, but ring hollow to those who live them. It's too high a price to pay. Metaphorically, it's like trying to cross a river carrying stones in your hands. Instead of swimming fluidly, you sink in the effort of holding what you never should have carried. Life demands lightness, but caring too much adds weight. The result is fatigue, frustration, and the constant feeling of being behind yourself. But there's a powerful shift when we let go of this weight. By stopping caring so much, anxiety diminishes and clarity increases. You begin to choose not out of fear of judgment, but out of a genuine desire to live. This is the first key to freedom. And when we understand this, we begin to realize the paradox of letting go. Letting go isn't losing, it's opening space for everything to flow. The more we try to control life's outcomes, the more resistance we encounter. It's like pushing on a door that only opens in the opposite direction. The more force we apply, the more frustration we feel. The paradox of letting go is that when we let go of control, things begin to flow. Not because we give up, but because we stop swimming against the current. Letting go doesn't mean a lack of responsibility or carelessness. It means recognizing that part of life doesn't depend on us. It's acting on what we can and trusting in what lies beyond. Often, it's in this space of trust that the best results emerge. When we let go of pressure, life finds paths we never imagined. Think of situations where you pushed too hard. The more you pushed, the more distant you seemed to become. Now recall times when you let go. Suddenly, unexpected opportunities appeared. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you squeeze, the more it escapes. But when you open your hands, the water naturally rests on them. This is the heart of detachment. Stopping caring excessively isn't disinterest, but wisdom. It's understanding that by letting go, we create space for the new. Life doesn't need to be controlled in every detail. Often, it just needs to be allowed. Letting go is trusting that there's a greater flow guiding each step. The paradox is that when we stop forcing ourselves, the results are often better. Projects that were previously stuck become unblocked. Relationships become lighter, and the mind finds peace. It's like loosening a knot. Excessive effort tightens it even more, but the gentleness of letting go releases the tension. And it is at this moment that we discover an even greater freedom, that of living for ourselves, not for others. Because when we stop caring so much, we stop seeking external approval and return to aligning with our essence. This is the next step on the journey. Learning to live for ourselves. Much of the weight we carry comes from constant comparison. We live trying to live up to external expectations, family, friends, society. But when we stop caring so much about others, we begin to truly live. Living for yourself isn't selfishness, it's authenticity. It's choosing a path that, even if it doesn't please everyone, makes sense for your own soul. Many pursue careers they don't love simply to meet family expectations. Others stay in relationships out of fear of others, judgment. But deep down, they know they're betraying themselves. When you live to please, life may seem right on the outside, but it rings hollow on the inside. It's like playing a role never written for you. Stopping caring so much about external opinions means giving back power to your own voice. It's realizing that you don't need applause to validate your choices. Your peace is the best measure of success. And in practice, this means choosing paths that bring purpose, even if they don't bring immediate approval. Inner peace is always worth more than external approval. Examples of this are people who, against all odds, decided to move to a new city, start from scratch, or pursue an unlikely dream. They were criticized, discredited, and even ridiculed, but in the end, they found fulfillment precisely because they stopped living for others and started living for themselves. This is the price of authenticity, and also its greatest reward. And I ask you, have you ever made a decision that seemed wrong to others, but right for you? If so, share it in the comments. Your experience might inspire someone who currently lives imprisoned by the need to please. Showing that it's possible to live for yourself might be the sign someone else is waiting for. And when you align with your truth, something surprising happens. Life begins to conspire in your favor. What once seemed difficult finds a way. What seemed heavy becomes light. This is the natural effect of living authentically. And this is what makes room for the next step. Detachment creates space for new paths to emerge. When we stop worrying so much, something curious happens. We create space. This space isn't empty, but a fertile field where new opportunities can blossom. While we're too busy trying to control every detail, we block out the unexpected. But when we let go, life has the freedom to surprise us. Many achievements happen precisely after we give up trying. How many times have you noticed that when you stopped forcing something, things started to fall into place? It's like letting go of a stretched string. The tension disappears and the energy flows again. When we're freed from the anxiety of control, we open the way for creative and unexpected solutions. This space acts like a window that lets fresh air into a stuffy room. When the mind is too busy with worries, there's no room for new ideas. But by emptying the excess, new perspectives emerge. Suddenly, we see ways out that were right in front of us all along but obscured by internal noise. Examples of this can be found in common situations: someone who gave up desperately searching for a job and, shortly after, received an unexpected offer, or someone who stopped persistently pursuing a relationship and, suddenly, found someone who naturally aligned. These moments show that the space created by detachment is an open door to the new. Metaphorically, it's like letting go of a doorknob. As long as we keep pushing, it won't open. But when we let go, we realize the door opens to the other side. Excessive effort blinds us. Detachment reveals the way. It's in this space that life shows it knows how to guide us better than our rigid plans. And when we recognize this, we discover the most profound lesson. To stop caring excessively is not to become indifferent, but to trust. It is in this trust that true inner peace is born, and it is this peace that attracts prosperity, balance, and meaning. This is the next step, understanding that peace is the greatest wealth we can achieve. Stopping caring excessively doesn't mean abandoning responsibilities or living in indifference. It does mean rediscovering inner peace. This peace arises when we understand that we don't need to control everything or carry expectations that aren't ours. It's a state of lightness in which the heart stops fighting the inevitable and learns to flow with life. Inner peace doesn't depend on the absence of problems, but on how we face them. When we let go of the need to control outcomes, challenges remain, but they cease to overwhelm us. Instead of reacting with anxiety, we respond with clarity. This calm changes not only the mind, but also the body, reducing stress and strengthening health. Imagine a river flowing toward the sea. It doesn't need to force its way, because it knows it will find its way naturally. If it encounters rocks, it goes around them. If it encounters drops, it transforms into a waterfall. This is also true of life. When we stop resisting and let it flow, we realize that everything follows its course. This acceptance is the essence of inner peace. Science also confirms this effect. People who cultivate states of detachment and acceptance have lower levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. They sleep better, think more clearly, and have more energy to act when necessary. In other words, peace is not just a spiritual concept. It is also a biological state that transforms the body and mind. This peace is magnetic. The calmer we are, the more we attract opportunities and people who vibrate at the same frequency. Anxiety repels, peace attracts. This explains why so many doors open precisely when we stop caring so much. Serenity creates a field that favors prosperity, healthy relationships, and clarity of purpose. This is the climax of the journey. Letting go is the key that unlocks the door to peace. And this peace, in turn, unlocks the door to everything we seek. It's not giving up, it's trust. It's not indifference, it's maturity. When we stop caring so much, life finally finds space to flow. And that's what brings us to the conclusion of this reflection. We've reached the end of this reflection, and perhaps you've already realized something important. The problem was never caring, but caring too much. Excessive care turns care into prison, responsibility into burden, and dreams into anxiety. When you release this weight, life doesn't become disordered. It finds its own balance and everything begins to flow. We saw that attachment to other people's opinions creates invisible chains. Detachment, on the other hand, opens space for freedom. We discovered that living for oneself is more authentic than living to please others. We understood that the space created by detachment allows new opportunities to emerge. And finally, we realized that inner peace is not a luxury, but the foundation of a prosperous life. The great revelation is that stopping caring doesn't mean giving up, but trusting. Trusting in the flow of life, in the timing of things, in your own ability to adapt. This trust brings serenity, and serenity attracts everything that anxiety pushed away. The secret to freedom is letting go, not holding on. Think about all the areas of your life where you've been holding on too tightly. Relationships, work, dreams, expectations. Ask yourself, what would happen if I let go a little? The answer may surprise you. Perhaps what you call a loss is actually a gain in lightness. Maybe letting go is the key to finally receiving what you've always sought. This reflection is not an invitation to indifference, but to maturity. To stop caring excessively is to choose to live with peace, clarity, and authenticity. It's transforming anxiety into confidence and rigidity into fluidity. It's discovering that life works better when we stop trying to control it. Detachment doesn't distance us from life, it brings us closer to it. And now I want to hear from you. In what area of your life do you feel you need to let go today? Leave a comment, because your answer could be just the sign someone needs to free themselves from the weight they're carrying. Remember, when you stop caring so much, life finally starts to work out.